Hello everyone, my name is Brendan R. That noise you hear is my ventilator. And welcome to Page Turners They Were Not My Star Wars podcast. Today, it's time for my spoiler review of Episode 3 of The Mandalorian, The Sin. Reminder, this review contains massive spoilers. And if you don't mind the spoilers, or if you have seen this episode, this place is for you. Let's begin. I love this episode. In my opinion, this is the best one yet. And I think that it's on an upward trajectory. I really hope it can maintain. Not that the next episodes need to be better, but that it can maintain its trajectory of being good. Now, I'm not concerned that it's not going to be good. I just hope it doesn't kind of fizzle. So I just hope it can maintain its strength, and I think it will. So, this episode, The Sin, was directed by Deborah Chow. Deborah Chow has directed episodes of shows like Westworld and, I believe, Better Call Saul and things like that. So she already has a good resume. But the reason I point this out is she is going to be directing all of the episodes of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which I believe is just going to be like a mini-series. But I guess all of the episodes will be directed by Deborah Chow. And for what I've seen in this episode of The Mandalorian, she is the perfect person for the job. This episode of The Mandalorian felt like it combined the best elements from episode 1 and episode 2 of the series and stuck them together in this episode. This episode feels wonderfully like, well, so what it feels like to me is a blending of a session of Star Wars the role-playing game and a young Jon Favreau playing with his toys as a kid. That's what it feels like. And it feels more like, to me, more like the former, more like a tabletop Star Wars the role-playing game session. At least in the action part of the episode. Now, this is very, very interesting because I was a bit surprised at the beginning that the Mando would go back to the client and drop off a baby Yoda that quickly. I was expecting him maybe to make a decision on the way that he wasn't going to turn in the baby, but he did in this episode, and that took me a bit by surprise. But I thought it was pretty good how they really set it up with that very first scene of the baby Yoda trying to get the ball off top of the control stick of the spaceship. I like that as a throwback to that later in the episode when the Mando is about to leave. that he sees that and it makes him think of, maybe I made a mistake. But there are several things in this episode that I would describe as utilitarian. Very much like there was nothing wasted in this episode. Everything had a payoff, and I thought that was amazing. The fact that that ball on top of that joystick had a payoff. That the whistling birds, those little darts, had a payoff. That Grief Karga, that's Carl Weathers' character, showing the Mando that Beskar in his pocket would have a payoff. The scenes with the other Mandalorians had payoffs. Just everything had a use to it, and I thought that was wonderful. I liked that, yet again, we get more of the Mando's backstory. Seeing some of the same shots we had seen before of his parents hiding him during a battle, but getting to see more of the what was going on, and you see sort of the separatist droid gunship, and of course you get the super battle droid, which opens that little hiding space that the Mando is in. We don't know what saved him from that predicament, but I'm assuming it's either a Mandalorian or a Jedi, which leads me to believe that the Mando is not a Mandalorian by birth. I think it's possible he was adopted in. As always, I love getting to see other Mandalorians. That was really neat. And the idea that they're coven, or I'm not sure what word they used, that they really can only go out one at a time because they don't want people to know that, oh, by the way, there's a whole ton of us hanging out in this one building, so they keep sort of their numbers hidden, which is why they probably would have to relocate after the events of this episode. I love that there's so many things to talk about in this video, but I love that it answers some questions but provides more little nuggets that are of interest to us as the fans. We don't know exactly what Dr. Pershing was going to do to Yoda. Baby Yoda, as I should say, since it's not Yoda. We know that from the conversation we hear between the client and Dr. Pershing, that there's something that Dr. Pershing needs to extract from the infant. To extract the necessary material, I believe the client says. What this could be, genetic material, midi-chlorians, yes, I know, not likely, but hey. I'm thinking it's more they want to clone this baby. That's my thought. Or that the baby itself is a clone. And they want to make more copies. I don't know. Given that Yoda's species seems fairly rare in the galaxy, and now the three that we've seen, Yoda, Yaddle, and now this baby, all had force potential, is definitely making them a valuable asset. Now, I did find it very interesting that the client says to Dr. Pershing that he won't be able to guarantee his protection if he waits any longer. And as Dr. Pershing keeps pointing out to the client, whoever he works for wants the baby alive. The client doesn't seem to care, and he's like, it's something about guaranteeing protection. So it kind of makes me believe that Dr. Pershing and whoever he works for does not work for the Empire. Or what remains of the Empire. This may just be an isolated thing where the client with the stormtroopers are all that remains of the Empire in that particular part of the galaxy. Just a handful of folks. But they seem to be providing Dr. Pershing with protection. Protection from what? That's what I want to know. It could be as simple as protection from these bounty hunter and mercenaries and miscreants. But it could be something more than that. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting little breadcrumbs thrown out. Makes me wonder what it will lead to. Let's see what else. I found this episode to be just so wonderful in terms of just on so many levels. I love when the Mandalorians show up at the end because, you know, even though they were having an argument earlier, the big Mandalorian and our main character, the Mando, it would seem that the Mandalorians understand that when one of their own is in jeopardy, they need to step up to the plate. And, you know, we defend our own. It's that kind of attitude, I think. And so I love that when they just showed up there at the end. Now, one minor quibble I might have with the episode, it sure seems like the client gave out a lot of tracking fobs. To this baby. It does surprise me a bit that the bounty hunters didn't all team up and just go and take the baby on that one planet. I'm just surprised they didn't do that. Maybe the show will explain it, or maybe that's just a minor little quibble. Why they didn't just team up as a group to go get it. Maybe it has something to do with the rules, though they certainly didn't have a problem teaming up to destroy the Mando. So I don't fully understand that. Maybe they'll explain it. Maybe it's just one of those logical things that we're going to debate till the end of time. But that surprised me. Now I do wonder, when the Mando sees that puck of that Mon Calamari that they're going to go chasing after, or there's a bounty, I guess he's Skip Bale. He's a nobleman's son, and there's a bounty on his head. Like I said about this episode being very utilitarian, I assume that at some point the Mando is actually going to go and fulfill that bounty. It seems that is likely, and that will happen, and that would be kind of cool to go to kind of an ocean world and see a Mon Calamari in the Mandalorian. That would be kind of fun. So it makes me wonder if that's going to happen. Now, I do like the new armor that the Mandalorian has, and I pointed this out. I'm not the only one who noticed this, but Ken Napzok at Force Center, one of his favorite little random characters in the original Star Wars trilogy is when Lando orders the evacuation of Cloud City. You see a guy in an orange jumpsuit running down a hallway in Cloud City, and it looks like he's carrying an ice cream maker. Well, as fate would have it, in this particular episode of The Mandalorian, the Beskar that the client gave as a reward, as payment to the Mando, was contained in what looked like an ice cream maker. So now we get to see kind of what that thing actually does. And so a lot of people were sending messages over to Ken, including myself, that, oh, by the way, did you see that your favorite container, or that container that your favorite guy in Cloud City was carrying, that we finally get to see it used again. I thought that was really, really funny, and I don't know if that was intentional or not from the part of Filoni and the others, or should I say Jon Favreau and the others. But I thought it was a clever little thing, and I laughed. I had quite a laugh at that when I saw that. I really like the Mandalorian culture, how much the armor really matters to them. And I like all the guys with their neat armor, and Mando with his new suit of armor. And I like the fact that in keeping with what we have come to love about the Mandalorians, that the armor means so much to them. Including that thing about almost ritualistic of, have you ever taken your helmet off? Has anyone else ever taken it off? You know, the whole "this is the way." I guess that's the new catchphrase. Each episode seems to have a catchphrase. You know, whether it's I have spoken, or this is the way, or things like that. It's pretty funny stuff. I also love that we get so much of a sense of the Mando as a character, even though we never see him without his helmet, which I think is genius. You know, Baby Yoda took a little bit of a backseat to the action this time, which I know he's a lot of people's favorite character. And I gotta say, seeing the bassinet in that dumpster was, I didn't like seeing that. Yeah, it provoked kind of a oh no reaction from me. But by the way, I think that big Mandalorian guy, I think that's Jon Favreau. At least doing the voice. I don't know if he was wearing that. He's a big guy, so it could have been Jon Favreau. So I very, very, very much enjoyed this episode. There's so many little details and layers. I love how bombastic Carl Weathers is as Grief Karga. It's just so larger than life, which is befitting his screen presence, and considering that this is the same man who played Apollo Creed all those years ago, it fits totally. I love the sort of the fact that when the Mando says, "What are you going to do to Baby Yoda?" The client and his stormtroopers are like, that's not a question you're supposed to ask. He's like, the guild forbids that. And having the extra stormtroopers come into the room added kind of tension to that. You're not supposed to be asking those kind of questions. But it definitely shows you that it's kind of a rule that nobody's supposed to get attached. I think it was the client who says you're supposed to forget these. And, things like that. So, I think that also, I think Carl Weathers' character mentions similar attitude about it, but, I guess it's a hot button topic. People know immediately, it's like, you're not supposed to be asking those questions. It kind of makes me wonder with the tracking fob. So if the client is handed out a lot of tracking fobs, because I understand he's the one who gave it to the man in the first place, and this is all tracking the baby, at least I assume. I wonder if, there's a couple of possibilities. Because I'm thinking, why don't they deactivate when the bounty is turned in? Maybe. Now, let me go a little bit conspiratorial here. Maybe the client knew there was a chance that some of the bounty hunters would get attached to the baby. And maybe the reason he handed out so many and kept it active was that if anybody tried to steal the baby, or if anybody tried to change their mind about the bounty, the other bounty hunters would all be there to gang up on them to prevent that from happening. I don't know. But anyhow, there's so much to talk about in this episode. Yet again, music was great. Action scenes were wonderful. Great use of characters, great feeling, almost like a role-playing game. Yet again, it's Jon Favreau playing with his toys. And really, this show has impressed me so very much. And I was uncertain when I finished watching the first episode. It had worked for me. Then I watched the episode again and went, okay, that was great. And then I saw the second one. It was like, all right, they've done it. And with this one, my goodness, Jon Favreau and company have delivered an incredible experience. And I am very excited to learn more what's going to happen in this next episode. So let me know your thoughts on it. My name is Brendan Marr. Thank you so much for tuning in to Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you, and this is the way.